Wrestling podcast, and this episode is very, very special, and it's just different than any other um, episodes. But first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I am one of the hosts of this amazing, amazing shoot and still wrestling podcast. I am international wrestling superstar. I'm an independent professional wrestler. My name is Tamilian Vinish, and this is my partner.
C-Dub coming at you once again with a camera raised in his hand. I'm ready to do this podcast. I've been out the past couple of episodes, but I'm back, and this is gonna be an awesome episode. I'm excited for this. Yeah.
All right, on this episode, we have a special guest. You know, I say that all the time. We have wrestlers from all over the world, wrestlers inside and outside the country. But on this podcast, we'll be talking about something different, a different individual. It's about an inspiring story of a courage and bravery, embark of a journey of hope with this kid who is fighting a deadly tumor. El Santo being his inspiration, a tale of hope, nothing more, nothing less. Charlie, White Mustang, Kyle Painter, ladies and gentlemen, the actor of the movie El Santo. Kyle, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for taking your time and doing this. I appreciate it.
Oh yes, sir. No problem. I'm excited to be here. This is a huge step, man. This is awesome.
Thank you. Well, Kyle, just take us through this movie, El Santo. When I was in Mexico, I got an opportunity to go to Mexico and wrestle there last year. I was in Mexico City, Mexico, and El Santo was kind of like a god, like a hero to those guys. So tell me something about this movie, where the inspiration came from. Anything about it.
Oh, that's awesome. Actually getting to go down and be a part of that. That's really cool. But yeah, no, like you said, this movie, it's about bravery. It's about fighting, and it's about the fighting spirit and never giving up. And this kid that, you know, he's going through everything. It's really his kind of backs against the wall, and his character and my character, our paths end up intertwining, and they end up changing each other's lives in a way that neither of them had really anticipated before the events that transpired that they meet up. But yeah, this movie, you know, it's about inspiration and never giving up, and really just going for what you believe in.
Tito.
Yeah. How'd you go about landing this role? Like, how'd it fall into your lap?
It's kind of it's not a long story, but it's a wild one, actually. I was actually not the first person cast as Charlie to play the role of Charlie. They had cast this other guy. I've never met him, but Dean had worked with him. I think they shot a couple of scenes with that guy, and for whatever reason, he didn't stick with the role, and they ended up going on pause for a couple of months with not shooting the movie, and I guess just kind of regrouping a little. And then one day, Daniel just had reached out to me, and he asked me, you know, he told me some things about the movie and asked me if I was interested in doing it, and I said I was down, and here I am.
Talk to me, walk me through the preparation. And professional wrestling is not the easiest sport in the world, and there's a lot of preparation that you need to take. You need to take a lot of bumps, a lot of drills involved, and people get in the ring, they think that they can do it, and they just walk away. They couldn't do it after 5 or 10 bumps. They just quit. And the drills, they almost it's impossible. So a lot of people get into the ring, get into the business with the ambition of making to WWE, All Elite Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, all these companies all over the world. And maybe 1 or 2 days after training, they're kind of like, oh man, I can't do this. So you are doing this for a role, and you never been in the ring. Have you ever watched wrestling before?
I've watched it, yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say I was a huge fan coming into this, but, you know, I growing up and watching, you know, I was a fan of the WWE. I had a couple of guys I used to root for, and, you know, I was familiar enough to know kind of what was going on, but definitely not not super fan by any means.
So, how was the preparation like? When you what was the feeling when you stepped inside the ring? I think you went to Deep South Wrestling. That's where you were trained with
Oh yeah.
a couple of guys in there. So, how was it when you stepped in the ring for the first time, and when you ran the ropes, when you took the bumps? What was the transition like, and how long it took for you to learn all these things?
Oh man, it was actually such a crazy experience. I mean, first off, getting to do stuff like this and getting to go and wrestle and hang out with all these people that are so committed to this craft. And I never thought I would ever be doing anything like this to begin with, but it was crazy, man. I had this kind of I don't know, I had this kind of just oblivious bliss about it that I had no idea what to expect. And I'll tell you what, that first practice after, running the ropes and just teaching the, very fundamentals, I learned pretty quick that it was a lot more than you might anticipate. And especially if, you're just a casual watcher, turn it on TV. I mean, you have no idea how much these people have trained and time and effort and blood and sweat, tears that they've put into this. And I'll tell you what, man, I have a huge respect for it now, considering I trained for a good while for the matches that I was filming in. But it was awesome, man. I enjoyed my time at Deep South. It was super fun. I'll tell you what, though, it was tough. It was definitely tough. A lot more physical and a lot more in depth than I had ever thought going into it. But it was awesome, man. I had a great time.
Yeah, I've had the privilege to see you train some of those nights, and you actually like catch on pretty quick. You're like very impressed. The trainers there were very impressed with you. With that, you'd always hear them say, "You ever think about getting into it? You already got." You always hear them say that. And I agree, man. You picked it up pretty good, man. I was like, this dude, I think he's working us, man. I think he's had some training before. I think he's messing with us, pulling our leg. But yeah, man, it is a different beast. It's a different beast when you get in those ropes and actually run it, and instead of sitting on the outside looking in.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, I appreciate that, C-Dub. Yeah, we got to get in there and we got to lock up a couple times and get after it with each other. So that was fun. But no, it's wild though. And, once you actually kind of figure out a couple moves and have a sense of what's going on, like, I don't know, you kind of just get lost within the world of the world that's inside the ropes. And, that's all that matters. And I had a great time, kind of getting to experience that for a little while. But I did have a benefit of, I'm in pretty good physical shape, and I've always been a pretty fast learner and stuff. But I guess it's just, I don't know. I knew it was something I had to do for the movie, and I wanted to do it as real and authentic as I could. So I was there to learn, and I'll tell you what, I definitely got my stuff handed to me a couple times, but yeah, it was awesome. I had a good time doing it.
Did you watch any tapes? Like, did you follow anyone specifically, like, for this role? Like, did you study any wrestlers on television? Did you watch any tapes? Anything like that?
So one practice, I remember that we were trying to figure out, just like a theoretical match between me and one of the guys there that was working out, Tyler, and Marco had said to go watch the match between Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle for an inspiration, just between our match. And after that, I ended up actually watching a lot of Shawn Michaels tape. So that was really cool. I enjoyed that actually. And that kind of brought me back to whenever I used to, dabble in it when I was kind of growing up and watching as a kid. And one of my favorites when I was younger, I used to always like Rey Mysterio.
I'm telling you, kid, Shawn Michaels will love that. That's for sure. So I'm sure, like, you've been practicing a lot, and then take us through the moves like Hurricane Rana or splashes. How hard it was, because we're watching Logan Paul here. Logan Paul is a YouTube sensation. You've done some boxing, MMA, but again, we heard that he signed with WWE, and within like what 6 months, he was fighting. He was in the ring with Roman Reigns and with Miz and WrestleMania. So when you're learning moves, like you were like scared, or like how hard or how easy it was for you to learn, like Arcananas, or like moves from the top rope and things like that. You didn't have the fear like to get hurt or injured or anything like that.
So yeah, going into it, kind of what I was saying was that I kind of had the benefit of really having no clue what was going to happen. So everything was just so brand new to me that I really it's not that I was afraid, or I was just kind of caught off guard of what was going on, and the more I kind of got comfortable and figured things out, the more I was down to try new things and try bigger and bolder moves and stuff like that. But it is crazy talking about Logan getting to do all that and just go to the WWE like that. I didn't watch his match. I saw he did that, but that's crazy that somebody can just tap in like that and get to go out to the ring and out there in the middle of WWE with all the all the superstars. But for me though, it was more of trying to learn specifically what I was going to need to do for the scene that I was doing. And once I got comfortable with the fundamentals and kind of a general idea of what I was going to do for the match, or who I was running with for that particular match in the scene, then I got to kind of improv and figure out some other things and chain around and learn some different techniques and just different counters and stuff like that. But I tried to always keep it as simple, safe, and as skillfully done as possible. But yeah, and towards the end, whenever I did learn a crossbody off the top ropes. It did take a little bit of practice to figure out the balance and where my feet were supposed to properly go on the ropes and how to get up there and not be wobbly and figure all that out. But no, once I got it though, it was a lot of fun, and it was exciting to be able to stand up there and actually feel like I was capable of pulling off something cool.
Yeah. You feel like you might miss it once all this is over with? You think you might want to come to Griffin, Georgia when you got some spare time and hit the ropes or whatever?
You never know. I mean, I'll tell you this. You're not going to get a much better workout than a hard night of training inside that wrestling ring, because even whenever I was deep into it and really training hard, and man, I would still wake up the next day and head to toe, I'd be so sore. But I did feel good afterwards. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I'm just trying to.
You never know. Maybe you can follow the footsteps of what's his name, David Arquette, former WCW champion.
Yeah.
I'm sure you heard about him, right?
Yeah. David Arquette.
Yeah. Kyle heard about him? David Arquette?
No, I don't know. What is it?
T-Dub, would you?
Well, they did this movie called Ready to Rumble, and he was a big wrestling fan, and then kind of like years later down the road, he decided to pick up and actually go into it full force and be a wrestler, and he started going doing these backyard wrestling shows and stuff, and messing around and got in a tussle with a guy named Nick Gage, and messed around and got split up with some light tubes and had to get rushed to the hospital. It was crazy. But yeah, David Arquette, man, he's got I want to say it's on Amazon Prime, or it was. There's a movie, The Arquette Story, whatever. It's a good watch. Nothing to try to scare you away from it or whatever. Arquette's crazy, man. Just don't do what he did. Don't go don't go off and challenge the world renowned deathmatch king, Nick to a match, cause that. But yeah, he it's a good watch though. I'd recommend it. But yeah, David
Arquette. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, David Arquette is, of course, a Hollywood actor, and he was on that Ready to Rumble. And after that, I think maybe part of the promotion, WCW was a wrestling company owned by Ted Turner. They decided to put the stamps on David Arquette, and that's kind of like a big insulting joke. Being in the wrestling business for so long, and finally David decided, you know what? I just want to show the world that I am a tough son of a bitch. So he went out there and he did all these things to prove a point to the world that I was not just like in a paper champion. But yeah, this is another important question. All over the world, people, especially fans, they think that when you get in the ring, well, when you take a bump, you won't get hurt. This is kind of like from all over the world. People say, "Oh, it's all fake. You're not going to get hurt." You know, the mat is just like made of bed, whatever, soft. So tell to the world, as someone who's an outsider, and coming to the wrestling world, how thick and how hard that mat was, and is it really get hurt?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Look, from firsthand experience with as many times as I went and trained and had a couple matches, I'll tell you this. My neck and my chest have never been more bruised in my life. And I used to have this last match I had and like the last training session I had, I left with a yellow and blue neck, and I've had clothesline marks across my chest. And the first time I ever ran ropes, I had bruises on my lower back and all across my tailbone. It was ridiculous. Like I never expected anything like that. So, you know, whatever people are saying about fake and not actually getting hurt, that's complete garbage, because trust me, I got freaking whooped.
I'm glad you never got a chance to step in the ring and share a ring with John Bradshaw Wakefield. Right, C Dub.
Oh yeah. He put that clothesline. That's shit. Now,
That's what, what else you can tell us about the movie? Like, how long the filming is going to go, and when we can expect this movie on theaters.
Well, yeah, that's kind of up in the air. We've been filming. My first day of filming was either is it end of July of last year or the first week of August of last year. We've been kind of off and on shooting, having to figure out locations, different casts, different scenes, and things like that, and just do this. It's a hard thing to schedule all these people to get together and get to go and put this movie together. But as of this year, we got some new creatives in the building and in the mix of the movie, so we're trying to speed things up on the process of getting it wrapped. I'd say as of right now, we're probably roughly around 70% done filming the movie. So I hope to be done by a spring date of this year. And as for the movie coming out itself, I'd love to see it maybe Christmas time into this year. That'd be a huge play for all of us. But I really don't know. That's just kind of being a little optimistic but a little bit realistic.
Yeah. Christmas will be a good release date. Yeah.
So, and also and I heard that El Santo, the movie, will be filming on February 18th on a promotion called AWWA, American Warrior Wrestling Alliance, in Marietta, Georgia. So fans who comes over there, they'll get an opportunity to see you and see the show. Great wrestling entertainment. So anything that you like to share or you like to tell the fans about February 18th event?
So February 18th, yeah, it's going to be exciting. I don't know the complete details about the filming that's going to be going on, but I do know that it's supposed to be some scenes with myself and a couple other wrestlers and some other characters showing up. But it's going to be a great time. I would definitely say come out, check it out, have a good time, watch some matches, And hey, might sneak you in the back of the movie somewhere.
I know, right? C-Dub, you want to add anything else, or?
Nah, man, I'm excited. I've had the opportunity to be in some things in the past, and then now you got a movie, a wrestling show, and a movie gonna be getting filmed. You can't ask for nothing else, man. You don't get that too many opportunities or something like that happening.
Yep, yep. So thank you so much, Kyle, for taking this time and doing this with us. Like, we really, really appreciate it.
Oh, hey, no problem,
Yeah,
guys.
man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Kyle Painter.
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate y'all having me on, man. This was awesome. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
yeah.
All right.
Hit the stop button.
All right, no, so let's continue this. All right, so we will go and edit. No problem. So meeting. All right, let's continue this. I'll go back and edit. So anyway, that was the main character played by Kyle Painter of the movie El Santo. We definitely hope that the movie will release in 2023 around Christmas time period. So people from all over the world, it's a feature film, so people from all over the world get an opportunity to watch this movie on theaters. Maybe C-Dub will be on it, and I might be there, and maybe some other wrestlers going to be there. So don't miss this opportunity to come and support AWW, American Warrior Wrestling Alliance. The filming of El Santo movie will take place in Marietta High School. It's a part of a wrestling movie and in a wrestling event, in a wrestling show. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about some wrestling. Pro wrestling, sports entertainment. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Royal Rumble. Did you enjoy the Royal Rumble?
Man, for the most part, I enjoyed it, but I guess I set myself up to be disappointed and looking for more stuff to happen than didn't. I think that happened with a lot of people. I most definitely did not like the the musical part of the show. I wasn't very impressed with I don't know if that's how his act normally is, or if he was nervous, or if he was sick. I don't know, but the what they usually been playing in the background or whatever versus what was performed didn't sound the same. So I don't know, man. But I was.
Do you think this was the first pay-per-view under Triple H?
Under? No, I think he was. No, I think he was over the last couple. I wouldn't put because he's been in full at least for the past two pay-per-views. I mean,
Yeah.
at least I feel like there was other people involved.
Yeah.
Well, like,
We'll touch some of the basics, positive things. Happy to see Nia Jackson and she got a chance
yeah.
to do.
I wonder if they used her as a way to kind of like mess with people in a way, because there was a picture floating around where it showed The Rock's mom or whatever in the crowd, and everybody's like, "Ooh, is he here?" So like they were more or less there for her,
Yeah.
plus the rest of the family. I see she's still in the alumni section, but they did release a shirt for her, so I don't know what's going on there.
We'll be able to
Is
see
she
her
back?
back.
Is she not back? But yeah, she's still in the alumni section. But and
Yeah.
I noticed she still got a date, some date, booked in March, but she's not able to use Nia Jax. She has to use her other name, her real name.
Mhm.
I seen that. I seen a video of when Logan Paul was on the outside of the ring. When he wasn't eliminated, he was waiting to come back in. I guess he took the opportunity to plug his energy drink brand Prime. Uh, he
Dana White. Yeah, UFC.
somebody
Yeah.
gave him one. He cracked it open, drank and stuff, and then also see that I guess it was announced today that Prime and UFC has a deal now. He's the sports drink for the UFC. So I guess that means is Monster. I guess Monster's out of the picture then. If
It's
that's
very
the case.
interesting. Over all these years, Dana White said numerous times, like, he's not going to do business with certain amount of people. Kimbo Slice, that's someone he was talking trash for a long, long time. And then finally he invited Kimbo to do UFC. And again, Logan Paul was another guy. He was talking, Dana White was talking crap about Logan Paul. He said, like, he's not going to do business with him. Whether Logan Paul is competing in the octagon or not, still Dana White technically doing business with Logan Paul.
Yeah.
And
the Paul brothers have been a big advocate for the fighters to get bigger paydays or whatever. And so
well, they're taking a big risk too. Even if you're fighting one match a year, once in 6 months, whatever it is, I assume like they're making a good pay, but at the same time, I believe WWE superstars and AEW talents makes more money than the UFC fighters. But I don't know. I need to see the numbers, but I assume that's the case. I might be wrong.
I've seen posts of like boxers and bare knuckle fighters and stuff like that getting bigger paydays for one fight than a whole year or whatever or their contracts.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very interesting. But I enjoyed everybody pretty much knew Cody was gonna win. That's why I feel they should have had some.
Hold your horses. We'll come there. We'll come there. Hold your horses. Rhea Ripley, the Australian Nightmare, winning the Women's Royal Rumble. How do you see that?
Oh wow!
You were expecting that one?
Yeah, Ripley. Yeah, I figured she out of everybody that was in it, I figured she was primed for like to win it legit wise. Like she's legit. She's badass. She's been in the main picture, or the forefront of the storylines for Raw, whatever. And she's deserving of it. It was cool to see her go.
She wasn't really competing on a weekly basis. And what was his name? She had a match with. I forgot his name. The Japanese wrestler.
Oh yeah, Akira Tozawa.
Tozawa, yeah. And after that, I don't think I could really even think of any other matches that happened.
I will say a couple months back, she had got hurt, and they had to tone it. But they kept her around, so it could be
the storyline part. Yeah,
yeah. They probably wanted to keep her relevant and not have any chances of getting hurt if they've already had pictured her in for this spot. Her and Liz going in at the 1 and 2 spot and lasting the whole thing and ended up being the last two was a la Shawn Michaels' British Bulldog. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed that.
And I think she's gonna face Charlotte Flair, right? For the title of the Mania.
She picked Charlotte. Ric Flair. Ric Flair is I don't know why, but like he decided to I don't know if it was him or his reps decided to post a picture of him in between Ripley and Charlotte doing a photo op, and this was posted. I don't know if it was posted afterwards or a little bit before the announcement of Ripley saying or whatever, but he's gonna that's it's gonna be interesting little foreshadowing or whatever. I say let Flair ref it, Flair give Flair some money. Flair could probably he's probably doing pretty good with that
I'm not sure if he's in any condition to ref the match.
Yeah, he got the itch. If they asked him, he'd say yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be
We
like,
never
I'll
know.
do it.
He retired 3, 4 times.
Yeah, he wants to retire again. He said he wants to do over.
Yeah.
He done
And
burnt through that.
yeah, and talking about that from the female Royal Rumble, of course, in the World Series, the rematch between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. Fantastic, both are fantastic talents. I never got a chance to meet Charlotte Flair, but I got a chance to meet Rhea Ripley and got a chance to talk to her. Amazing, down to the earth, very professional human being. Now let's go forward to the men's Royal Rumble. So, and we'll talk about the press conference that took place after the Royal Rumble as well, right after a short break.
Yo, welcome back. Welcome back. That's the second half of this audio video show, Shooting Stiff Wrestler Podcast. C-Dub here, RepSports.com. Use code YoungRays40 for a 15% discount. And I'm handing it off to Tamilian Banish, and he has some knowledge to drop to you as well.
This episode is episode number 19, and audio episode will be available on Spotify, Anchor.fm, Podcast One, and iHeartRadio, plus also Google Music and Amazon Prime Music. And the video podcast will be available on Anchor.fm and also on YouTube.com. This episode is brought to you by AWWA, American Warrior Wrestling Alliance. They are making their debut show, Foundation, on February 18th in Marietta High School, Marietta. For tickets, go to eventbrite.com and search for AWWA, or go to facebook.com and search for AWWA, American Warrior Wrestling Alliance.com. And this episode is brought to you by Redcon1. Go to redcon1.com and put Vinice20, then you'll get a 20% discount. All right, this is the episode 19, and we got an opportunity to talk to White Mustang Charlie, the character of the movie El Santo. And we talked about that. Kyle shared his experience in the ring, outside the ring, about the movie. We really hope we'll be able to watch that movie this year, end of this year, maybe before Christmas. And also, before the break, we were talking about WWE Royal Rumble, amazing pay-per-view. Obviously, there's a lot of ups and downs always there. We were talking about female Royal Rumble, Rhea Ripley winning the Royal Rumble. I was saying that, and I got a chance to meet the Australian Nightmare. She's an amazing talent, amazing human being. So from there, let's move. Let's go to the men's Royal Rumble. Now, they've been showing this video package of Cody Rhodes training, getting improved on every Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. So we know he was going to come back. We know that he was going to make an epic return. But as a fan, I'm just speaking as a fan, all right? I'm just speaking on behalf of the fans, a lot of fans. I'm not going to say all the fans, but some fans, on behalf of the fans. Why in the world we never got an opportunity to see Cody Rhodes in the ring with Brock Lesnar? Why we haven't got a chance to see Cody Rhodes in the ring with Bobby Lashley? Why we haven't got an opportunity to see Cody Rhodes in the ring with Booker T? And Cody Rhodes, he came out, I believe, number 30, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about him winning the Royal Rumble, the whole scenario?
Man, I liked him in the Rumble. I would have liked to see him come in like at the middle spot versus the number 30 spot. Then again, you wonder if they did it to like decrease the chances of something going off and him getting hurt. Who knows? But like I would have liked to see him, square up against some of these other guys that he maybe down the road will get it, hopefully. But yeah, I would have liked to send more moments with him in the ring versus just him coming in at number 30. But it still worked. It was a still good good Rumble.
Yeah,
Good
he got a
setup.
massive, huge reaction from the fans. People loved it. It was exciting.
Yeah, but I still wish there would have uh been some other surprises. But who knows? Maybe next year.
The only wrestler actually wrestled twice in the Royal Rumble and also win the Royal Rumble, that was Brock Lesnar back in 2003. He had a wrestling match with the Big Show in the Royal Rumble pay per view, and later that night he actually was number 30 and he eliminated the Undertaker and won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, yeah. We also had a repeat of Curtis Axel, Rey Mysterio thing where a guy slotted to come into the Rumble, never appear and be in the Rumble, and nobody replaced either one of them. Nobody replaced Rey Mysterio slot. Now I want to say he was supposed to be entry number 14. You
Right.
know, so a lot of people are out there saying, "Oh, Cody Rhodes jumped over the top rope to exit the ring, and therefore Rey Mysterio is clearly the winner." All Rey Mysterio had to do was
Conspiracy theories. Yeah.
stretch down there and get in the ring to be official. But yeah, I mean, why if Rey Mysterio's hurt, why they could have used the storyline earlier in the thing. Hell, what they could have done is jumped them, had them hurt, and Rhea Ripley enter herself into the men's rumble. You know,
It could be too
because
much. I mean, she already
yeah,
won the female Royal Rumble, so there's no. But at the same
well, yeah,
time,
that
on
one,
Monday, Monday Night Raw, Dominic Mysterio was given an explanation why his father was not on the Royal Rumble because he took care of his father. So he kind of like got a small promo on this. So we kind of like no, yeah, but there was some
yeah,
small fumble here and there, but we understood. And also this
Pat
one thing.
McAfee. I say Pat McAfee should have popped up and said, "I'll take a spot," and got in the ring. You
And,
know,
and, and not only that, we never saw Sami Zayn. Was Sami Zayn in the Royal Rumble? I don't think he was there
no,
because of the
that's what I was
storyline.
thinking. He was one of my pick. I was picking Sammy to for even maybe even have a repeat of Brett Lex Luger where you had two winners. You got Sammy and Cody go over
It would have
and
been
touch
very
at the same
interesting.
time.
It could
That's
have been
that's
very
what I was
interesting.
like him either. I mean, they could have done him and Cody could have had that moment, or Seth and Cody could have had that moment. Either one of those could have had it where, because they split up. Apparently, they're splitting up the tag team titles. And now I don't know if you want to jump to that spot. The whole thing, well, that's going to be interesting anyway because you got what's going on with the bloodline. You know.
I think it was too early, way too early to do that because they had this they built up the storyline from the scratch for 9 months. They did it. I mean, this is my opinion as a fan. Like that was unnecessary. They could have done it in a different time period. You never know. I kind of feel like they're probably gonna put a triple threat between Cody, Sammy, and Roman. Maybe finally Sammy wins the big one. Or, I don't know. Maybe Cody
I'm
wins the big
seeing
one.
I'm seeing them advertise Sammy and Roman at Elimination Chamber. On top of that, it's in Montreal, Sammy's spot, and
Oh,
also there was leaks of the artwork for the chairs that you get to take home or whatever, having like Sammy plastered all over it. So they're kind of cashing in on the whole Sammy being hometown hero type thing. Um,
also, Montreal is the same place that Survivor Series 1997 took place too.
yep. Maybe it's gonna be a Montreal bloodline
Another
screw
screw job,
job.
pal.
Yeah, yeah.
You never know. No, let's go to the controversial part here. We've been doing the Shoot and Still Wrestling podcast, and we've been so nice for the last couple of episodes, and at the same time, we miss you, C Dub, and welcome to 2023. Happy New Year, and let's do this the controversial stuff now. Before Rumble, There was an interview. It's going viral all over the world. This guy was asking some questions to Seth Rollins. I think they were promoting WWE 2K23, and I think you know where I'm going with it. So
Yeah, it's about he was talking. They got asked some questions about your best friend, Phil.
CM
Your
Punk,
best friend, Phil.
he's a cancer. Stay home. So he made that comment. So it's clear it's not just one person. Because I remember when I came out and said about my experience, a lot of people they were attacking me from all over the world, sending me
So
500,000
are you
messages.
telling me you never got one of those Starbucks cards that Dax was talking about? That a bunch of people got at AEW that CM Punk went and bought all like the girls and all that stuff and some other people. You never got
I
one of
never
those
got
cards?
those, pal. No, I never got those. But what is your take? What do you, especially Jim Cornette didn't want to test.
If there's
He didn't want to say anything, but let's talk about him just for a second. We've been he's still been in the spotlight, Phil. So again, Seth
yeah,
Rollins is
there's
not
money to
any
be made,
mid
man.
card. Seth Rollins is not any small superstar. He carries WWE on his shoulder right now. He's one of the biggest stars, and making a comment like that. What do you think?
If it's gonna be the long game and he
And
may
remember, there's a
maybe
lot of people that thought that CM Punk will be on Royal Rumble as well.
yeah. I don't know how soon you'll see a CM Punk come back to WWE, but I don't think that door is closed. As long as money's to be made, I don't think that door is closed. Because merchandising wise, you got a lot of people that will buy his merchandise still. His name still holds clout for now. He hasn't done anything to get himself canceled, like canceled. Uh, so I still see ramblings of him and doing something with FTR versus the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. I still see that going on. But
Yeah, and some legal issues that's been really going on. Yeah.
long game wise though, if this is to be played back and showed later in a vignette of some sort, I could see Seth and CM Punk doing business at a Mania down the road. Not this Mania, but down the road. It would be worthy of watching. Uh,
If
CM
Phil can
Punk.
still wrestle, if he still have the conditioning,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
you need to make sure you don't mess with that buckshot lariat.
Yeah.
But the next controversial thing, this never happened in the wrestling business. When I say this never happened, let me walk you through. We have seen Rick Rude appears on WWE Raw and WCW Monday Nitro on the same night. We have seen DX going to the WCW Monday Nitro building, and we've seen Scott Hall making the debut as part of the invasion on WCW Monday Nitro in 1996. Why I'm saying all these things because a contracted AEW wrestler seen on WWE Royal Rumble. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know if he got spotted during the event, but he got spotted on a camera of some sort backstage or whatever. But yeah,
And
Ricky Starks. Yeah,
Ricky Starks was carrying Cody Rhodes' bags.
yeah. Well, when Cody was mentioning his comeback that he trained with some guys in NXT or whatever, and then he mentioned one name he wouldn't mention because he didn't want him to get blowed up. I'm pretty sure that's who the name he was talking about not mentioning was probably Ricky Starks.
But
Why?
again,
I want to know why he didn't train with your other buddy. You know,
the Apple Man.
the guy that goes by two letters.
Oh, the Quick Trip.
Yeah, yeah. I want to. Yeah, he's been
But
replaced by Ricky Starks. He better watch out.
See, that's something that is very interesting. Not, I mean, I've seen a lot of different podcasts. Nobody really wanted to address this or talk about this. This is not like a silly thing. It never happened. I believe if Vince was still around and taking care of the things, I'm not sure if Vince was in charge for Royal Rumble, but if he was in charge, I don't think he would never let anything happen like this because it never happened. Uh, and I remember back in Impact Wrestling, TNA was TNA Impact Wrestling at that time. Jesse James, Billy Gunn, Conan, and R-Truth. Those guys were working for TNA, and I don't know if you remember this. They did an episode where actually they goes to WWE. Not headquarters. I think one of those arena, and they tried to go in. I think Shane Douglas was there, and he was part of the group, and he was doing some interview, and they meet Rey Mysterio. They meet people in the catering, and they asked to leave them later. So again, I was wondering what changed all these years, after all these years. But,
Yeah, I mean, they probably let Ricky Starks around because he wasn't filming anything.
I mean, on TV, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And also, I think now these days it's okay for WWE stars to mention other wrestling companies on TV. So, and the next thing again on a press conference where Cody was talking about AEW, and even Sami Zayn on a program mentioned about AEW as well. So, what do you think? WWE think you think WWE is trying to build a bridge through Cody to AEW?
I don't know, man. I mean, they're not trying to take shots at him. They never really wanted to
Yeah,
take shots at him.
I don't feel that
The other
tension
way
that,
around, yeah, the other way around, they would take shots or whatever. But then again, you got MJF that would go on during the live shows, and the whole biggest free agent 2024. Pretty much saying that that's where he wants to go. They pull this and that. So like, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I see Triple H not being as strict as far as not having that door open for possibilities, of something, because you can only you can only be by yourself for so long before you're gonna need to venture out and adapt, because if you don't do it, you're gonna have the other promotions doing it,
I
and they
mean,
have done
Impact
it.
Wrestling be doing it, like exchanging the talents between AEW and themselves,
Yeah,
and also
yeah,
Mickey James
Impact
when she was
wrestlers
the
going
champion, she
everywhere.
showed up. Yeah, she showed up in Rumble as well last year. But again, like I don't really feel that tension that WWE had with WCW at one point in time. I don't really feel the same animosity or the tension
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
AEW now these days.
Vince had a mission that whole time, especially what was the episode podcast that was listening to during the 83 weeks of him getting beat, that they were getting under the impression that, hey, it might be the end at one point,
Yeah.
where they were like
Tell
not
Tony Schiavone
ordering
said,
stuff.
like, they don't flip the channel. They're champion. One time he wrestled here as a Cactus Jack, is going to win their big title, and that people flipped all those channels. Yeah, I mean, they didn't have to do any of these things. Like, obviously WWE is a better brand. And again, I'm not supporting Jim Cornette. I don't hate AEW. Still, the ratings are down on the toilet is because the program they're doing it. And some of the talents, some of the wrestlers are the reason people are still going and watching. The reason is, and also when you look at the television, they don't really show the entire crowd. Now these days they show it's one side of the crowd because, like, there's a lot of empty seats on there, and it is what it is. But we'll see what happens. And last but not least, man, every year we have some sad news in wrestling business, like in 2022, 2021. One way or another, we always get something sad. And even this year, beginning of this year, 2023, we lost the original Ring of Honor tag team champion, one half of the tag team champion. We lost Jay Briscoe. So, it's just sad. And AW did a tribute show for him, and I believe Warner Brothers, they didn't really want to promote it. What do you think about the whole situation?
I mean, I see they lightened it up. They did let they did finally let Mark come, and they had that match last week, which was good. Um, I'm hoping to see more of Mark. It's just it would have been nice to been able to see that happen before this tragedy happened. But you know, people say stuff sometimes. You know, and it's you can't take it back. Or whatever. You can just hope that you're forgiven for it. And they've hung what they said. They said what they said, but that was decades ago. Since then, they've hung out and made friends with that side of what they spoke on or whatever, and those people like forgave them. So someone to get talked about for that be given for it, then why would the whole rest of the world want to hold grudges or whatever and not open that up? It's just I'm on my side of the fence, so I can't really speak on how hurtful it would make me feel to get said that. But for someone on that side of the fence to forgive them, then why be that type of way towards them and not let them say their piece or whatever. But yeah, I'm glad they did do that for Mark and the Briscoe family. And I heard Tony opened up his allowed a lot of the guys and girls to use his jet to go down to the funeral. There's a lot of things that Tony's been doing that on that side of the family oriented togetherness type deal.
Hey,
See a lot of
he's been taking care of a lot of talents too, man. Like when Brody Lee passed away, I mean, he's been grateful to his family, his wife and kids. And on that side, he's a good human being. He wanted to take care of wrestlers. That's great. He had a great heart. I keep all that, but it's just that
I think,
he should
people
let
take
others do
advantage
the
of
bookings. It's just my opinion.
a lot of people take advantage of him and know he's a good person.
Yeah.
And then they use that to their benefit and work the guy,
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I don't want to throw the names. I had thrown the names before. People know who those people are, and those people who never been and never drew a dime in this business, doing jobbing jobs before.
Yeah, you see what Jericho tweeted about Gunther?
No. What did he say?
He pretty much said that he would beat Gunther's ass. He would never do the job for Gunther. That's what he tweeted. I don't know if that's just Jericho being Jericho or Jericho being salty.
He's just trying to get more heat. Now these days everything is social media. Say something controversial, and you'll get that attention. That's all it is. Even when my videos came out, when I was talking about all those things, fuck this, fuck that, throwing F-bombs back and forth. I mean, I've gone viral, but that was not intentional. Whoever did it and posted out there, that's great. It's the same thing. It's a strategy. Guys like Chris Jericho being in this business for Jesus, 30 plus years, and he don't have anything to lose. He don't have anything to prove. He always been a legend. I believe maybe someday, very soon, we'll see him on Hall of Fame. That's for sure. So it's all just a business status. Like, they know the ratings were going down, and they just want to say something, do something that can boost up the ratings of AEW. That's pretty much it. And then again, going back to Tony Khan, and again, a great human being, wanted to help a lot of talents. He wanted to do a lot of things, positive things to wrestlers. And like I said, after my match, when I was on the back, and he didn't have to come to me and said, "That was fucking awesome, dude. I love what you did out there." And having food in the same table, and got a chance to talk to him. And next day when I saw him, gave me a fist bump. It was kind of like, wow, that's awesome. It's like, it's just being so kind, humble, down to the earth, but at the same time, like you said, a lot of people taking advantage of him, his character, being nice. And I really hope things gets better, man, and change. Like, we definitely need an alternative company, and for WWE, of course. I love WWE. I grew up watching WWE. WWE is my favorite place to be. I got treated like awesome, like a family there. So we definitely need another place and another program on TVs. And I love Monday Night Wars in the 90s, man. I love to see that again, that fighting spirit. But we'll definitely see, where it goes and what happens. And talking about Jay Briscoe again, last year we lost Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. And this year we lost Jay. And it was a great tribute match between Jay Lethal and Mark. It was great. And talking about that, and I heard that Impact Wrestling being scouting for new talents in Georgia, from one of the Georgia's biggest wrestling school. I don't want to name it, but I heard that they've been doing some talent scout. So I really hope we'll be able to see some new talents. And also, I really hope Impact Wrestling changed the whole setup. It's kind of like, feels like I'm watching some zombie movie. No wonder why Jim Cornette calls them Zombie Wrestling Network all the time. All right.
Yeah, they
mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have in the past have had a partnership with Lariato. And a promotion runs in Dublin. So, they might pop up there. Who knows? That's on, I think, March 4th or something like that. Some of the guys from the Impact, Heath Slater, he's on there. Really can't think of any other names, but yeah, I think he's like their champion, Lariato's champion, I believe. But also MLW, they got another TV deal. With Reels. Yeah, Reels. You can only get it if you have satellite. But yeah, they Reels channel.
Oh, that's
never heard of the channel.
Yeah. Reels is the channel where they play Heels.
Oh yeah.
That's on Reels. I remember that one. And
yes, Heels comes on Stars and also comes on another thing called Reels.
I think it was Reels. Then they changed to Stars. I'm not sure. I might be wrong here, but I did heard Reels. I think it was. I don't know if it was Heels or Glow. I don't know, but I can.
Yeah, I think Reels is separate from Stars because, like, if you got basic cable or whatever, you get Stars. But Reels is. I've never heard of it before, so it's probably something kind of similar to that other kind of like the HD network or whatever, HD fight channel that you can only get if you had satellite to watch ROH, but it's something probably similar to that. So you got MLW's got the new action figures coming out later on this year, and then they also got another like a TV. So I mean, it's good to see that. I mean, if you look at it, they've been around since 1998, I believe. That's what I read. But this is their first like TV
major
type
TV deal.
thing.
That's great. We definitely need one more wrestling network where guys can go and work and get improved and we always need one more company, especially Ring of Honor is out of business. I mean, whatever they have right now, it's not a real Ring of Honor, but come on, we all know that. But we definitely need another company so that the boys, the girls, and everyone get an opportunity. So we'll see what happens in the world of wrestling. And also, I heard a rumor about Impact Wrestling going only special, especially only to Canada. So I don't know how much of truth that is because their contract is coming out with Access TV, and I heard that they will be going only in Canada in Anthem Sports. Uh, just like back in the days, Bret Hart's promotion, what was it? Stampede Wrestling was probably like something like that. So I mean, look at the talents. A lot of talents that they recently signed, including remember Fandango, who just signed with Impact Wrestling.
Yep, Dirty
Um,
Dango.
Dirty Dango. Yeah, they always come up
Dirty
with something.
Dango. He's got
So
blonde hair now. Dirty Dango.
yeah, yeah. So that's pretty much about wrestling. Now these days, the rumors, the controversies, we touched everything. Royal Rumble, when we talked about El Santo, the movie. And of course, February 18th, we will have the debut show of AWWA, American Warrior Wrestling Alliance. We will have talents from all over the country. Some talents are from a different part of the world. We have talents from Iran. We have talents from Germany. We have talents from Hawaii. We have talents from West Virginia, Ohio. So it's going to be an action-packed wrestling show, and El Santos movie will be filmed on that wrestling show as well. So, C-Dub, and you like to add anything else on this episode?
Nah,
Episode
man.
19.
I can't wait. For the show. I'm gonna be in the house. Gonna be a great night of action. Can't wait, man. We've been planning this out for since last year. Time to let the whole world see it on Amazon Prime.
Absolutely. Amazon Prime, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you so much for watching this episode. This video episode will be available on anchor.fm and also on YouTube. And to the listeners out there, this audio episode will be available on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podcast One, Google Music, and Amazon Prime Music as well. And I'm one of the hosts, Chameleon Vidish, the international wrestling superstar from Atlanta, Georgia. That's my partner.
C-Dub. Google Fitzgerald, Georgia, and look at all the wild chickens.
Adios.
Later.